You know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Meant something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go. Star season to go, and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go, and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Star season to go, and you know those crystal children. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Star season to go, and you know those crystal children. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we on the mission. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the ropes. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean that I'm broke.
Welcome in. Welcome in to the unknown. Glad you're joining us here in the oneness that is us. The divine moving in, through, and as us, having an experience as the unique, authentic us. We are part of this experience. We are the law of one, wholeness, completeness. Welcome, Marcus.
Why, hello. How are you today?
I'm truly blessed. Truly. Today's a new day, a new me, new cells, new grandbaby on the way. Today's the day. Right?
Congratulations.
So here we're going to start. I'm going to start you. Because we are the masters in energy. Whether we call it new or old, we are the masters, the master conductors of energy. Energies have this octave that it's just waiting for us to play. Here it says masters in the new energy. It says in some of the old religious documents, it is called, in quotations, unknown, or the four words that cannot be said. And many interpret this to mean that one was not allowed to utter the words or the name of God. But what it really was, or what it really meant, is that there is no way for the human to actually understand or define the Spirit of God. It just is. You could spend your lifetime trying to write about the spirit that just is, about the God that just is, or you could try to define it to another person and then just to your own concept coming from the human mind. But it just is. That's the unknown. The unknown is within you, and it just is. It just is. It's part of you, and you are part of it. It spans the whole of eternity. The whole of eternity. This is what we're here to do. We're here to seek and dive in like you would dive into your swimming pool. And if you're an excellent swimmer, you swim from the shallow end to the deep end and back again. Then you dive in and you jump up and you just play in it. And all the unknown is things that haven't been said yet or done yet or experienced yet. Are you ready? Are you ready to dive? I am. How about you, Marcus?
Absolutely. I'm definitely ready to explore more of our own consciousness and become aware of who we are as we continue forth by day, as our great Egyptian ancestors would say. You know, that's actually the original name of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, is the Egyptian book of coming forth by day, also known as Per-en-Heru in ancient Kemetic text. And you know what this is when we say coming forth by day, it means that we are embodying and we are becoming more aware of ourselves as we continue to move forward by day in our human lives. So there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful ancient Kemetic terminologies that really support a more whole and balanced approach and perspective of the adjectives and verbs that we utilize about our life and ourself. And that's really what's been resonating for me lately, is what type of verbiage, what type of energy and frequencies am I articulating out of my tongue and out of my mouth? And are they supporting, number one, the energy of who I am and what I am trying to embody in my reality? And number two, are they hindering me? Are they causing resistance? Are they causing limitations upon my own self with what it is that I am trying to be and obtain? So yeah, that's definitely been something that's been standing out. And then also another thing that I've had quite a bit of conversations about, and even earlier today in a meeting that I had with a QHHT hypnotherapist, is talking about, you know, just like AI, technology, and just all of these different things about life in the world. And what I want to summarize out of all this is that, you know, there's always going to be propaganda, perspectives, judgment, all these different things about the world and the worldly things that are taking place and what are in the world, such as AI and technology. As you guys know, there's a lot of people that have negative context about it. There's a lot of people that have a bunch of fear around it. And then there's also those that embrace it for the expansion and the beauty that it helps us with. And for me, what's really been coming clear for me, and this definitely relates to the raw channelings, is it's not exactly about the world. It's not about the things in the world. It's not about the AI and the devices and all this stuff. It's really more about what is it that we are doing with our intentions at the core and our energy and our mind and mentalism with the things of the world. It's not about the things in the world are going to take over. The things in the world are damaging us. The things in the world are doing this or that. It's really more so that it's all here for us to use, and we got to be accountable and responsible for the energy and intentions that we are consciously and unconsciously putting into these things of the world, because they serve us how we serve them. And if we are using our AI to help expand consciousness, to help people have sacred spaces like we are right here with Ascending Beyond Limitations, then I mean, what is there to really fear? What is there to be scared about? What is there to build all these hypothetical theories about? Now, of course, if you're just pinpointing and focusing only on the aspect that, oh, well, these people are programming and using propaganda through technology, or, they're gonna chip people and take over, then if you're gonna only focus just on that solely, then you're basically allowing yourself to be consumed by that one aspect, that one dimension of the multiple dimensions of what that thing is. So, pretty much what I'm getting at here is take the time if you need to rinse and wash your brain. Rinse and wash your subconscious container. None of us, I can guarantee, are 100% free from propaganda, programming, and other things that have been conditioned into our mind that do not resonate with our true intentions and beliefs. So, what I'm being invited to share is take that time if you need to, today or another time, to just really go within yourself and see if there is any programming, conditioning, or beliefs that are circulating currently, and address them consciously with yourself. Is this something I want to continue to carry moving forward? Is that fear belief? Is that limited belief? Is that one finite dimension that my family members have told me, or that the media keeps telling me, or that the community keeps telling me? Is that really what I want to continue to carry as my reality, my individual sovereign truth as I navigate through this dimension? And I had to really get real with myself recently with this time I've had with my dad, and to really see, like, okay, I know that there's a lot of propaganda. I know there's a lot of people's beliefs, and especially in spiritual communities, people really love to have their opinion heard and want to be the right spiritual person when it comes to their belief. So I had to really sit with myself and sort out what really resonated for me, and if I want to take on people's fear beliefs, fear projections, or ungrounded projections and things of that nature. And what I found is just like staying true to my intentions, staying true to my routines, staying true to the things that are in my control, which is my mind, my emotions, my body, is really what it comes down to. Another thing is too is like, if we are walking in faith in the divine, part of walking in faith with the divine is not attaching to the worldly affairs, not attaching to hypotheticals in the future. If this, if that, oh no, it's taking over, humanity's doomed, oh no, they're gonna make us do all this stuff, they're gonna force us to be lockdown borders, they're gonna force us to have a chip. You know how many times I've heard that now? Cycle after cycle. The polar extreme of the other opposite extreme, basically. Two sides of the same coin. You got one side, we're going to try to force you guys to do all this stuff, and you have to live by the way that we want you to live. And then you have the polar other extreme side where it's complete anarchy and complete rebellion. So everything 100% is bad about this side. And this side is going to go to the furthest extreme worst thing ever. and they're going to make us all do this stuff. And then they're going to make us do all of this stuff. I'm just going to stay right here with these palms together, right here at the heart, and stay in my center and realize that those are all nothing more than probabilities. And you as an individual get to choose what probability you would like to hold on to within your being for your resonation in your timeline in your experience. And I'm cool on it. I'm cool on taking on the belief that they're going to force us to get chips, AI is going to take over, all these different things. And I'm cool on the side where they're like, we need you guys to do this, and if you don't do this, then our democracy is over, and all these things.
Yeah.
It's like, man, we are here.
Yeah. I'm here going, okay, I opt out of that, and I'm just going to live in my heart space. I'm going to live in through my fifth dimensional or sixth dimensional consciousness of how I'm seeing the world play out. And it's going to play however it's going to play, right? I noticed that Chris is very, very adamant on where his energy is being, that he notices, it's indoctrination. Well, if you are in that energy, Chris, or anybody else, that energy is going to say, your wish is my command. You want to be there. Okay, I'm going to open more doors for you that you can see, or that you can step into, or that you can want to commit to having a opinion about, and we'll make it so. And guess what? For the divine, that is totally okay, because the divine is saying, I'm seeking myself as being this person who is acknowledging this particular situation, circumstance that is that they believe is for their highest and greatest good. All Ra is saying is step into, owning it, own up to it, take responsibility for how you create your energy. That's all Ra is saying. We'll give you all the information possibly that you can use, and then that you can then that you can actually play from, right? And you're absolutely correct. AI is a stream of consciousness. Why? Because consciousness came to play anything that we wanted to create. And some human beings said, let me take my hypothesis of my science plus physicality, and let me make AI that can think for us. And then the consciousness said, okay, let it be so. I'll be that for you. So yes, it does have a stream of consciousness. What stream of consciousness does it have? It has our stream of consciousness, whatever we're going to make it. That's all Ra is saying. Think about who you are as the one true creator in your authenticity, being a form being with a conscious mind that is the creator. Back to being the creator.
Well,
that's all
said.
Right? And Ra saying, if you want to believe that you're going to be forced to stay conditioned in a line of thinking or a line of being, then the divine is saying, let it be so. The divine is saying, yes, absolutely, Chris. Ra is saying, if you see me as mine, then that's what the divine is going to be, mind. But somebody that's on the opposite conversation than you, that sees the divine being consciousness of heart or intuition, that's what the divine is going to be for them. The divine is seeking itself in all forms, in all formats through us. So if somebody wants the the being of beingness of God to be matrix or illusion, then the divine is going to say, let it be so. I'm going to be that. Now feel it for me. Give me the embodiment of how you're feeling, how you're feeling that be. If you feel that you're a captive, or that you're being a victim, show me how that feels. The divine says, let me feel it. How are you feeling being a victim? Show it to me. And all Ra is saying, if you're going to be the victim, be the best creative victim you can be, because you're creating it. And we're just here to help you along in how you can possibly move through these creative experiences on either polarity. Higher polarity, middle polarity, lower polarity, lower polarity, however it is. Because they did it already. They became a sixth density being and decided that they wanted to stay and help and educate and help us get there, if we so choose. Being a human being is a collective human being, collectively as Earth humans. We're making it so difficult, but guess what? That's part of our trajectory. And that's all Ra is saying. We got there. You can get there. You can become sixth density conscious being. So are we ready to begin? I'm ready to begin. Okay.
Before you begin, I just want to also just like close that out with, keep in mind that we ultimately do not know what is going to 100% happen in what we call the future right now. So if, you get something brought into your awareness or your consciousness, and, for example, like even just today and yesterday, I've had these conversations, like people sharing with me the reels and videos of people being like, oh, this stuff is going on, and as we continue forward, they're going to try to chip us and all this stuff. And I mean, ultimately, like for me, when it comes down to this stuff, is we can either try to stay and project ourselves out of our body into the future, into a probability that may happen and may not happen, and then stay there in our present moment instead of being present, which is then taking us out of our body, causing anxiety and depression and fear and all these things, which then is draining our energy and keeping us from doing the things that we love in our daily life. Or we can step into faith with the divine, with the creator, and be like, look, okay, thanks for the possibility, but it's a possibility. It may not happen, but I know that I'm an instrument of frequency and vibration. So I know that my mentalism also fuels things into my reality. So I'm going to choose to not attach to that. I'm going to choose not to take that as my ultimate reality and as the finite truth of the future of what will happen, and just remember to bring it back to being present. And that being present, and through my actions in the present, I can do what I can to calibrate myself and be in attunement and alignment with that not taking place as the future timeline. And then lastly, we really don't know what's going to happen in the future 100% until it comes. So if we don't know for sure, allow it to be one of those things where if it's going to come, then it's going to come. And have trust that you, as a divine being, will receive the guidance will receive your own spiritual input when that time comes, if that time does come. And for me, that's faith, is knowing that I can be present in myself and continue to do the things that I love and that I connect with spirit. And then if the moments that we're talking about in the future do happen, then my spirit and my being will adjust in that moment, and I'll know what to do then. I just want to leave it off there. Back to you.
Perfectly said. Spiritually aligned. Did you hear the divine within him? You can have it any way you want it. It's about you. There are well over 8 billion, almost 9 billion people on this earth, and it's still about you. It's okay for it to be about you. It's not selfish for it to be about you and how you see, how your outside world is reflected to you. In the Bible, that's what Jesus meant with when he said, "Be in the world, but not of it." It's your choice to decide what you like and what you don't like, what you'll have, what you'll take, what you'll put up with, because you have the keys to alchemizing, changing, transforming your now moment. That's all it is a now moment. Future is a now moment that your ego or your unconscious mind can't understand. That's all the future is. So it gives it to you in a possibility that might not happen for your highest and greatest good. That's why some people get stalled there. That's why some people cannot enjoy the journey, because they're already stuck in the that possibility of the future that might not happen the way your ego has told you it's going to happen, or it should happen, or it could happen, or it might not happen, or you're going to get really fucked up if you do it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in that now moment, infinite possibilities can be created in your now moment, and your future is always happening in the now. But guess what? Ross says you don't have to agree with anything that they say. They're just there to give you the information, and they are not going to bump up against you not liking it. They're not going to bump up against you arguing it. They're just not going to argue it with you. They're going to say, this is this, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and move forward. That's all Ra is saying. So the questioner asked, thank you for taking an example or taking as example the transition between second and third density. When this transition takes place, does the frequency of vibration, here we're talking about frequency again, and we're talking about our chakras and the colors and the vibration again, does the frequency of vibration, which forms the photons, which is the core of all particles of this density, does it increase from a frequency corresponding to second density or the color orange to the frequency that we measure as the color yellow? What I am getting to at this is, do all the vibrations that form the densities, the basic vibrations of the photon, increase in a quantum fashion over a relatively short period of time? Ra responds, I am Ra. This is correct. Then you see within each density the gradual upgrading of vibratory levels. That's called expansion. That's called evolution. We're here to evolve. Some are still in their root. Some have bypassed the root, and that still needs work, but they're thriving in their sacral and their solar plexus. Some are thriving in their heart chakra. It's called growth and expansion. It's called life expressing itself and expanding itself. Ross says, this term is impossible to define given your system of sensibilities and scientific measurements. For color has vibratorial characteristics both in space-time and in time-space. The true color is then overlaid and tinged by the rainbow of the various vibrational levels within that density and the attraction variations or vibrations of the next true color density. Our words can't even define evolution. Everything is moving. Everything has a momentum. Everything connects with everything. Photons upon cells, upon growth and expansion. If you dare to see yourself in the now moment as being new, in your new now moment as you wake up, that your whole body has did a transformation as you slept, your photons have changed and rearranged and changed its molecular structure. And you wake up and you say, oh, I feel lighter than I did yesterday. My legs are, oh, they feel good. I'm thankful and I'm grateful. The questioner says, how long was the time of transition from second to third density? The questioner says, a generation and a half, I believe you said. Is that correct? So they're going back to a conversation that they had in book 1. And the questioner is asking the question again as if the answer is going to be any different from Ra. But Ra honors the question and the questioner. Ra says, this is correct. The time measured in your years being approximately 1,350. That's from the time that this book was read and that this was quoted. And remember, Ra is outside of time. And Ra gives approximates according to our verbiage, our labels. How we perceive, human beings, the human in us perceives time. The questioner asks, then what will the time of transition on this planet from third density to fourth density, what will that time be? Ra says, I am Ra. This is difficult to estimate due to the uncharacteristic anomalies of this transition. There are, at this space-time nexus, being incarnated, which have begun fourth density work. However, the third density climate of the planetary consciousness, yes, our planet is a conscious being, is retarding the process. If you read the divine design, the channeling goes deeper into this and breaks it down for you. They're just giving you an overview here. There was a lot going on as the higher beings and foreign bodies and consciousnesses were being activated on Earth consciousness. And because Earth consciousness is tied or tethered to the human design, She tethered herself. As she shifted and evolved, so do we. But our energy quotient was low because we stayed in the lower polarities, because we thought that that was what life was in the physicality. That's what retardedness means. That we weren't moving and shifting our energy quotient higher. Growth, expansion, wisdom, understanding. These are all tools that help our energy quotient grow and expand and shift and evolve. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Ross says, however, the third density climate of planet consciousness is retarding the process. At this particular time, that's at the time that this was being channeled and written, at this particular time, at this peculiar nexus, the possibility / probability of vortices indicates somewhere between 100 and 700 of your years as a transition period. This cannot be accurate due to the validity of your peoples at this time and space. It's based on we were given free will, and Earth consciousness totally, when it shifted from fourth density down to from fifth density down to a third density so quickly, because higher beings wanted to access more story, more situations, more circumstances. They wanted to utilize their energy and creation. They wanted to tap in to not just the upper polarities, but they wanted to have a resonance in the lower polarities, because that gave them story to grow and expand. But the consciousness of the divine didn't foresee that we would get stuck there. It's just moving. It's not judging. So Ross says that they can't have an accurate due date of when the shifts would occur. The questioner asks, has the vibration of the photon increased in frequency already? Ra says, I am Ra, and that is correct. It is this influence which begun to cause thought to become things. As an example, you may observe the thoughts of anger becoming those cells in the physical body complex going out of control to become what you call, cancer. The divine just told me where I need to go deeper. What are you telling your body with your energy? What are you fixed on? We're in third density. We are supposed to be flowing through the higher polarities and the lower polarities so that we can create life and create a story. Where are you stuck? Marcus just said a plethora of information about being stuck in your story. Choosing your conversations of what you listen to. Having your verbiage in only one place, that, we're all doomed. Are you stuck there? That's one mirror of a story, but then there's a mirror on this other side that has a whole different one that you can choose, or you can write your own story. You don't have to play in that story. So what Ra is saying is thoughts of anger. You don't have to stay angry. You don't have to like what a person says or does, but you don't have to be stuck there. You don't have to keep bringing it up every time you come in the presence of that person. You don't think the person knows that they've been, bitchy or evil or said nasty or horrendous things or done something to you. You're still in a place of energy where they are. You don't have to be stuck in where they're at and be angry about it. You can let it go. But if you choose to be there in that anger, then Ra is saying that your body is going to respond in kind. Either your body or your mind. Okay? The questioner says, I am assuming that this vibratory increase began about 20 to 30 years ago. Is this correct? Now, this is 20 to 30 years ago as this book was being channeled and written. Ra says, I am Ra. The first harbingers of this were approximately 45 of your years old. The energies vibrating more intensely through the 40-year period preceding the final movement of vibratory matter. We, or shall we say, through the quantum leap, as you would call it. Starting then, the questioner says, 45 years ago, and taking the entire increase of vibration that we will experience in this density change, approximately what percentage through this increase is vibrational change are we in right now? Ra says, I am Ra. The vibratory nature of your environment is true color green. This is at this time heavily overwoven with the orange ray of the planetary consciousness. However, the nature of quanta is such that the movement over the boundary is that of discrete placement of vibratory level. We're going to stop right there. And we're going to give this back to Marcus. So Marcus can tell us about the true color green and the overwoven by the orange ray of planetary consciousness. And remember, guys, our planet is a consciousness. Its name just happens to be Earth, or the or planet Earth, or the Earth plane. That's the name. Like my name is Sandee. You can see me as a planet, but my name is Sandee. You can see Marcus as a planet, as a celestial body, and his name is Marcus. Our Earth.
Oh God.
Is
A God in the flesh.
Yes. So can we get some information about what they're talking about, the true color, green, and at this time is heavily overwoven by the orange ray of planet Earth or Earth consciousness.
Okay. So you're wanting what exactly? So you're wanting the orange ray qualities and the green ray qualities?
Okay, yes, I think they would have to know what the green ray quality is. He's saying the vibratory nature of your environment is true color, comma, green. Then he says, this is at this time heavily overwoven with the orange ray of the planetary consciousness. The planet at that time was in an orange ray, but our green ray was being woven into it very heavily. So if we know what the conditions of the orange ray is as far as earth consciousness, then how are we interweaving our green ray, and how is that affecting not only us but earth consciousness? Because remember, we're tethered to earth consciousness. If earth consciousness shifts, we're going to shift too eventually, right? If earth consciousness evolves, we're going to evolve eventually. But right now, at that particular time, we were heavily in, he's saying our environment was heavily in green ray, and earth consciousness was heavily in orange ray.
Okay. Interesting.
Wow, right?
So,
it makes you kind of think.
So orange ray is our passion. It is our creative impulse. It is our ability to feel and be one with our emotions. So when you think about this, you think about like a child. You know, like a child is very much in that innocent space of passionate and creative energy. But if we don't have the green ray, the heart chakra, with that orange ray, the sacral, then it just becomes kind of like a non-directional or non-intentional usage of that sacral energy. And with that, there's of course a contrast that comes with that. And parts of that contrast is, you know, one part of the contrast is that there's a abundance of creative energy. There's abundance of passionate energy that is fueling and flowing. But again, without those other chakras and without the heart chakra, there's going to be no core intention to that flowing of fire, to that flowing of passionate energy. And then what can happen is we can really burn ourselves out, and it can kind of continuously be like a cycle of chasing our own tail, where rather than having our creative energy and our passion and our fire being directed into something that is going to then, you know, create and build and grow for ourself and the all through the heart chakra. Because in the heart chakra, we're tapping into unconditional love. We're tapping into connection with all. And then we're also mixing in compassion with our passionate energy, with our sexual energy. We're also tapping into the heart. And when we're tapping into the heart, we're feeling empathy. We're feeling that interconnectedness with other beings while we are using our orange, which is our creativity, our passion and fire. So then that green ray gives that a complement of purpose, gives it a complement of intention. It gives it the complement of feeling connected to all, as well as feeling empathy and compassion while we are using our passionate energy, while we are using our fire and using our creativity and sexuality. And you can kind of see this a little bit with ourselves and with others, where we may be a little bit overactive in the orange and we don't really have a purpose. yeah, and it's like we don't really have a purpose or intention or a constructive way of utilizing our orange energy, which is our sexuality, our creative energy, our fire, our impulse, and things like that. So then what happens is you see cases where some of us are just leaking this energy out everywhere we go. And then we're attracting vampiric energies, we're attracting leeching energies, and all of these different energies due to our unconscious usage and leakage of the orange ray. So then when you bring in that green and you weave that in, it creates basically almost like that armor, so to say, that armor of unconditional love and truth with the direction of your passion and your fire and your sexual energy. So
Now,
yeah, that's really interesting.
I want to ask a question, because I think this is what Ra is trying to say. Is Earth consciousness is very into that passion of creation and creating, and being very through that sexual kind of vibration of keeping bringing forth new things and giving us new things. And the way Ross says it, that at this time, heavily overwoven with the that the true green is heavily overwoven in the orange, which means the divine was giving me that there can be, if you're in the green ray too much, you can be over passionate about things that are going to weigh you down. Is that possible? Is that what they mean by woven? Is like, well, the Earth consciousness is trying to give to us, and we're so passionate about all the negative things that we're giving passion to. In the we can also give passion. I don't know. I'm not saying it right, but the divine says, you know what I'm trying to say.
So are you trying to say that like the orange energy was kind of I guess overactive in a way? So then the green
No, I don't think Earth
came
consciousness
into
was overactive. I think Earth consciousness was trying to expand, to express, or to shift. And our being overactive in the green ray, not necessarily to unconditional love, but passionate, being in that green ray and being passionate about other things, because we could have a love for hatred. There are a lot of people who have, like perfect example is Hitler. Hitler didn't think he had a love for his people, but he thought his people were the only one true people, and he kept everybody else down. He was in green ray, but he was in green ray through selfishness. Do you see what I mean? So that being interwoven with Earth consciousness at that time, that's Hitler is just an example. At that time, maybe it was hindering the shifting. What do you think?
That example would actually be more so of a blocked heart chakra than an overactive.
Really?
Because if you're overactive, then you're overactive in unconditional love, so to say.
Okay.
Like if you're not even in the embodiment of unconditional love, which would be, feeling love for all beings, not just a select few, then that's a blockage in the heart chakra. If you're overactive in the heart chakra, that would be more of like people pleasing, caregiving for others and putting others before you. Like giving your love overtly into those spaces where you're then depleting yourself and you're neglecting your own self because you're continuously putting others before you due to how much and how open your heart center is.
Okay, so I'm going to read this one more time to you, and let's go into discernment from your point of view of this. All right, because
Okay.
the divine is saying this is very important for people to understand it, because they're talking about the planetary earth consciousness being in the orange ray. It's very important that you know the consciousness of the planet that we live on, and that because we are tethered to this, because we are in this playground or arena with the earth consciousness, we have to understand it. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. It says the vibratory nature of your environment is true color. Take the comma, green. This is at this time heavily overwoven with the orange ray of planetary consciousness, period. However, the nature of quanta is such that the movement over the boundary is that of discrete placement of vibratory level. I might have to meditate on this.
Okay, I get what it's saying now. So what it's saying is that there's a heavy balance of both of these energies in this realm that we're in. It's just saying that there's a lot of green. That's like the main energy of this realm, which is why the earth is green, the grass is green, 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 green. So then on top of that, you have interwoven with that, basically mixed together, coming in together, is the orange. So it's basically a lot of green energy, and then there's a lot of orange energy that's present right now on this planet. And what that is a combination of what we just spoke on earlier. Combination of the orange, which is passion, birthing, creating, nurturing, fueling the fire, getting your cultivation process going. And then you have the green, where that's adding to that unconditional love, that sense of interconnectedness, that sense of purpose and direction with that passion and fire, along with feeling empathy for others and having compassion while we're using our passionate fire. Because that passionate fire is like, it's like a fire. It's also like a snake. Like at times, if that's not tamed with that heart chakra, then that untamed fire can just be, a little dangerous. So, giving it that green creates that centeredness to it. So then it's centered at the core of our being with the principles of unconditional love, feeling connected to others, and knowing that there is boundaries and ways that we articulate our fire and our passion in this world. So that's what I get from it after that.
And now my resonation, the resonatory value of me is just a lot.
Yeah,
because
I felt that.
The divine was trying to give me the words or find the words through me, and it was like, no, I'm seeing there was a word that I got hung up on, which was called overwoven, and I took that to mean something in the lower polarity. Do you see how?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, right. Okay, so
And
the question
also too, I want to say too, to finish that off is and you can see it, you can really see this, like when you just think about everyday life and what we're doing and how we think about things here, like everything about this place is really about like, what's your passion? Love, connection, unity, and being creative and allowing your creativity to come out and express. So you can really see it, like there definitely is heavy doses of the green and orange in this realm, and it shows itself. It really does. We're always thinking about what to create next, what to birth, all these different things.
Yeah, definitely. But do you see how you can have a perspective, and if you allow yourself to sit in a teachable moment and allow yourself to discern what's being said, you can catch the vibratory, like being a surfer and catching that phenomenal wave, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
that was as he was explaining it this time, and I was actually allowing myself to be in that moment of wisdom and understanding and being open to it. It went out and it came back into me and went whoosh. I mean, it might not be that way for you, but it went whoosh, just like washing your face and taking water and just splashing yourself on it. It went whoosh, right? So the questioner asked, you mentioned that the thoughts of anger are now are causing cancer. Can you expand on the mechanism as it acts as a catalyst or its complete purpose? Ra says, I am Ra. The fourth density is one of revealed information. Cells are cells, and that's spelled SELVES, are not hidden to other self or other cells. The imbalance or distortion, which are of the destructive nature, show, comma, therefore, comma, in more obvious ways. The vehicle of the mind-body-spirit complex, thus acting as a teaching resource for self-revelation. Here we go. Like Marcus says, know thyself for self-revelation. These illnesses, such as cancer, are correspondingly very amenable to self-healing once the mechanism of the destructive influence has been grasped by the individual. Know thyself. See, we as human beings have been taught that when things don't feel good to us, bury it. That's pretty much what happens. Is it becomes buried in your subconscious. You bury it down, and then you put something else on top of it that doesn't feel great to you, and you bury that, and you bury that, and you bury that. Then when certain people in certain situations or circumstances start speaking vibratory conversation with you that ignite or astrobate or rub up against one of these feelings or forms, because all energy turns into form. So it's form within you about you not being the best person you can be. Somebody's told you you're an awful person. You only think about yourself. You're so awful. You're just selfish, and I just hate the way that you think about yourself all the time, and that doesn't feel good, and you bury it. And then that sits a while in your body. Your body becomes equipped to feeling that. It has to take that feeling and it has to translate it into a form as well. That can be dis-ease. We have a magnificent body. And our mind is in every cell of our body. Our brain is the processor. Our mind is in every cell of the body. That's how, when you stub your big toe, your mind sends transmissions up to your brain that downloads it and sends it back to you as you saying, ow, or me, fucking ow, that hurt. Do you see how magnificent your body is? So if we carry hatred in our body, and our body has to process that, it's going to process it into something that is relatable to our body. It's going to give us a negative or a lower polarity version of what we're hating, but it's going to do it within our body. Our body is listening. What are we telling it? Back to you, Marcus. He might be slightly on a phone call. I'll just keep reading. So next, the questioner asks, then are you saying that cancer is quite easily healed mentally and is a good teaching tool because it is easily healed mentally, and once the entity forgives the other self at whom he or she is angry, the cancer will disappear? Is this correct? Ra says, I am Ra. This is partially correct. The other portion of healing has to do with forgiveness of self and a greatly heightened respect for the self. This may conveniently be expressed by taking care in dietary matters. This is quite frequently a part of the healing and forgiving process. Your basic premise is correct. The questioner also asked, in dietary matters, what would be the foods that one would include and what would be the foods that one would exclude in a general way for the greatest care of one's bodily complex? I am Ra. Firstly, we underline and emphasize that this information is not to be understood literally, but as a link or psychological nudge for the body and the mind and spirit. Thus, it is the care and respect for the self that is the true thing of importance. In this light, we may iterate the basic information given from this instrument's diet. The vegetables, the fruit, the grains, and to the extent necessary for the individual metabolism, animal products. These are those substances showing respect for self. And the divine wants me to read again. The vegetables, comma, the fruits, comma, the grains, comma, and to the extent necessary for the individual metabolism, comma, the animal products. Ra goes on to say, these are those substances showing respect for the self. In addition, take the comma, though this has not been mentioned for this instrument, is not in need of purification. Those entities in need of purifying the self of a poison, thought form, or emotion complex do well to take care in following a program of careful fasting until the destructive thought form has been purged. Analogically, with the byproducts of ridding the physical vehicle of excess material. Again, you see the value not to the body complex, but used as a link for the mind and spirit. Thus self reveals self to self. Back to you, Marcus.
Ooh-wee. What was that
Ooh-wee.
last part? What was the last part? I was giving my dad some medicine.
Okay. The last part was, okay. It says, let's go here. These are those substances showing respect to the self. In addition, though this has not been mentioned for this instrument, the instrument that he's channeling through, is not in need of purification. For those entities, hold on, for those entities in need of purification or purging the self of a poison, thought form, or emotional complex, to do well to take care of a emotional complex will do well to take care of by forming a programming of careful fasting until the destructive thought form has been purged at analogiously with the byproducts of ridding the physical vehicle of the excess material. Again, you see the value not to the body complex, but to use as a link to the mind and spirit. Thus, self reveals self to self.
I love that. The self revealing self to self. Wait a minute, guys. Is there something about the self in this reality?
The self. Oh, the I and I. The I revealing the I to I. The divine
And
revealing itself to you and your higher being. It's
yeah, and
you can take it. You give us some wisdom and understanding, Marcus.
and you know what's really beautiful is when you achieve, I don't know if achieve is really the word, but when you get into an embodied state of this awareness that we're speaking on, and that allows you to be detached from judgment, opinion, or criticizing other people and what they believe and what they want to share and stuff like that, it becomes very beautiful. It's almost like you're a parent to children when you're just watching people express and share. And, I had a status that I'd made, or actually, no, I shared a post. It was a reel. And it was a lady, she was talking about, like, very passionately and from her heart in a gentle way. She was talking about, um, just like the effects of dogmatic religion and the effects that it's had on the empowerment of our own self for some people, and how it's disempowered a lot of people due to the externalization of the Christ light that is already within us, or something that is being put in a individual status above us and above all, when really, according to my awareness, there is nothing above us. And I know that can be very triggering for people, especially the people that hold very much onto this individual finite individualness of a figure called God. But if we go into our context, we go into our Bibles, we go into other texts, and we see that it's talking about, the temples, our temples being temples of the Spirit. It talks about in the Book of Thomas and some other ones, look over in those trees, lift up that log, throw that rock, and you will see that I am there. Jesus saying, you guys can achieve what I do and even more. All of these different things. I am in the Father is within me. With that being said, I see a lot of individuals, consciously or unconsciously, and again, this is not about right or wrong. It's not about blame or shame. It's just about facts and just different aspects of life. And, I see a lot of individuals living in separation, living in a separate mindset rather than a unified oneness mindset. And like I said, this may be unconscious or conscious. And it's interesting because when we are able to embody and see that the all is the all, no matter what, no matter the degree, no matter the other person's belief or judgment, then we don't really have anything to prove. We don't have to sit there and stress ourselves out about it because it just is. And it's an infinite experience. And what was interesting was, I shared the post and then somebody had commented. He's actually a pretty good brother of mine, but he also does have quite a bit of conditioning surrounding the Christian belief system, and that's okay. I connect with him in other spiritual ways as well. But he commented and just said that the post was dangerous and that basically Yeshua was more special and that pretty much like we really can't claim to be God because, God is only that one figure that's above all. And again, like I said, there's no right or wrong to this. But for me, what resonates for me with where I'm at in my unified conscious mind is that ideally, that whole concept of God being a figure that is above all is another illusion. And if everything is God or all is God, then how is it that we are separate from God? How is it that God is higher above all of us if it's his own self in the first place? So sometimes we gotta be careful with, I don't even want to use the word careful, just be aware of, are we identifying, are we perceiving through this flesh vehicle as who we are? Or are we viewing and identifying as just being the source energy, exploring reality and life through this temporary vehicle? Again, no right or wrong, but it is going to alter your reality of what you experience in this universe with what you choose. For me, I'm kind of done with those days. I've chosen to opt out at this point. I'm good on the separation. I'm good on choosing to believe that I am not of the source and that there's only the source above everything. I'm in remembrance, and I want to continue to embody and allow that to be embodied for others, that we are all the source. Every single thing, everything. Even when we have an opinion or judgment, it's still the source.
It's still the source. It's the source seeking itself.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm so excited.
I'm cool.
Yeah. I couldn't hold myself down. It was like, woof. It's the divine.
So I'm cool.
Yeah. It's the divine speaking right now, channeling right now through Marcus, saying, I'm me.
That's right.
Jesus, if you read the story, Jesus got so much flack. it was heresy for him to talk and say, I am in the Father, and the Father is in me, and we are one. And they were saying, wait, you can't call yourself God. That's heresy. That's you had the Jewish section saying, no, we got to get rid of him because he's preaching something else. And you had the Romans who said, no, if we keep going, we're going to lose control. But that's one thought pattern. That's my thought pattern. You take what resonates, because when I read it, it was two sides of the same coin. But did you think that Jesus didn't recall that he took a human form to come do this, to come teach, to come teach and come live a life being a teacher and an inspirational motivator, and to help open people to become aware of who they were? That's who he was. It took me a long time to get to this point where I can allow myself to say to others, I believe in Jesus consciousness. I believe in the words that he spoke. The words were very powerful, but I do not believe that I was born a sinner. I was born sovereign. Therefore, the blood of Jesus, the blood that Jesus shed, doesn't heal me from being a sinner, because I was never one. But guess what? That's my position on that. That's me saying that's my story, that I'm allowing the divine to move in, through, and as me. It doesn't have to be yours. I have many people in my family that they want to take me to someplace and have my brain kind of, what do they do? They take you to that place and they kind of retrain your brain for you. It's like, no, it's just me being me and me being my authentic me, but it's okay for you to be your authentic you. I've even gotten used to, when I won't stop somebody from praying for me. I take what resonates and leave what doesn't. I take what vibrationally or vibratorily is good for my highest and greatest good. And then everything else they say, I give it back to the divine. Why? Because it's okay that they believe in that vibrational spirit of the devil, but it's not me. I just happen to believe in the vibration a little bit differently. I believe I can go talk to the vibration and tell it to leave me the fuck alone. That's what I believe. But nobody else has to believe that. You take what resonates from Sandee, or what resonates from Marcus, or what resonates from Ra, or what resonates from whoever that your people that you're learning from, and whatever doesn't, you give it back to the divine, because all it is energy trying to show itself as form, right? So we are at an hour and 30 minutes. May I finish reading this session 40, and we'll be done with session 40. Do you have time, Marcus?
I have about 15 minutes.
All right. I will make it quick. The questioner says, with respect, what you just said, would then people incarnating here by seniority of vibration would incarnate in the service to self path be ones who would have extreme difficulty mentally with the green ray vibration? Ross says, I am Ross. This is incorrect. It is rather the numbers who have distracted themselves and failed to prepare for this transition yet, who are somewhat susceptible to its influences, who may be affected. the questioner asked. Is there anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable and improve the contact? Ra says, the instrument is well. Are you conscientious? I am Ra. I leave you, my friends, in love and in light of the one infant creator. Go forth, then rejoice in power and in peace of the one true creator, Adonai. So all of us come in at a certain point in our lives. We're born with our higher beings having this expression that they want to seek. And guess what? They're giving us the perfect example. They're saying we're just going to seek it. We're going to flow in it. We're not going to look at the future of it. We're not going to look to the end of the journey. We're not going to constantly focus on that. We're just going to explore. And some of us may come in a little bit more veiled than others, and some of us may come in a little bit more, we've been around the block, a couple of eons, and we come in not as veiled. Doesn't mean we don't come in veiled. It means we come in because we want to remember a purpose or recall a purpose, but we still come into this form being, and we still have to acclimate. We still have to assimilate. We still have to take form, and we still have to anchor. Some of us do it more in the recalling stages of body and mind, or of higher being and mind, and the body flows with it. And then some of us, we can't remember anything. It's all a process. But we can't damn the person that came in unveiled. We do that to children who are autistic. They come in with their brains fully functioning, high levels. They can spurt out the mathematics and put it out there. They can write it on the universe. And we look at them and we say, oh, something's wrong with them. They're broken because they're not like us. But maybe the divine is saying, I need them so that I can seek myself in a different timeline. It's not putting a negative on you. It's not stopping the divine from having an experience with you. It's just saying that the higher beings that are coming in with purpose. Earth consciousness called them and said, I need the light quotients of your energy, human beings, to speed up so I can shift again, because it's time. It doesn't matter that they're not ready, but I need to shift again so that I can lead them so that they can ride that wave of the shift there when you're ready. Because you don't have to shift when the earth consciousness shifts, but you're going to shift. You don't have to evolve when earth consciousness evolves, but you're going to evolve. So the next time you see us, Sunday, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will be starting session 41. That's in the book. And it will be episode, what are we? 30? Holy moly, Batman. 30? Join us. Thank you for joining us now, and join us Sunday. Back to you, Marcus.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow. I feel like we're really starting to refine ourselves as we go along. and get down to back to the basics and the simplicity of wholeness. And man, I cannot be more grateful of how this space has been such a compliment in my life to bring support, bring awareness, bring deepening of connection to the all. And I don't know what it is, but I just feel really proud of myself in this moment. And not just of myself, but myself that is within all of you. And I just want to say I'm proud of all of you as well, each and every one of you, for being who you are, being here in this realm and being in this human being, and continuing to show up, share, express, receive, and be a part of this and continue to put effort into it. It's definitely seen, and thank you for being you. And I know it may be tough and it may be very challenging to step more into your power and to, let go of all the programming, conditioning, and things that people want you to be and what they want you to shrink yourself down into and be just like them in their way. And just gotta say, keep going, man. Keep going. Keep on going with being true to yourself, and take those times when you need to take care of yourself. Give yourself the space that you need when you need that clearing, when you need to release all of that condensing. And know that's okay to do. It's okay to take care of yourself. It's okay to take the time out of the day to make sure that you can be the best version of yourself you can for others. I just wanted to give that reminder for you guys as we continue on with our day and go on with this life.
Bakwase. Se mo ko asia na ko ane. Ne o tuku uti ne kiki no doktor e. Mo ho hati se solo ko uti na ta. Mo ho ti se so mo ko asia no toku onda ki ese no ko u na si na ko ane me. Ma hua te ese na. Boha se na toku uti se na ko uta imto. Tashe no toku u. Shaloko utayin se ule biki e tayin mako natia natia. Se loko an. Se loko an de ke se. Adonai huta kiam boko ante. Ashiendo ku onda ete. Boko ate na. Your wholeness. You've never been anything more than that. You have been wholeness. Boko ande e se soduku unte kiki anato toko ana. You are the I that I am. Paulo hota e se soduku uta enda kihi no kuona e. Keep me on the journey. Let it flow. Adonai. Ashe. Amin. Aho. Mahuate. Shinotota e.
Everybody have a blessed and beautiful day, and we will see you on Sunday. And I'm gonna close this out with a lovely, refreshing violet flame break. Wholeness and balanced love.